President Donald Trump has issued an executive order blocking Broadcom from acquiring Qualcomm in what could have been a $117 billion acquisition or that's been scuttled in the name of national security. Bloomberg's Matt Larson reports.
There was a note out a week ago from CFIUS, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., that they were looking at potential security implications for the deal. And the president kind of front ran a lot of those talks and just flat out banned the deal. So it looks like it's over for Broadcom and Qualcomm.
Okay, and does it seem like this was a well thought out decision, or was it just a quick more of a hasty reaction to national security threats?
It's certainly a quick decision. There's not a whole lot of transparency as to what goes into CFIUS determinations. There were a lot of behind closed doors Security Council meetings. There's a big concern for investment in 5G. That's been an express priority of the Trump administration. And so, understandably, a swift decision on something that protects U.S. interests in 5G, I guess is understandable. But it's certainly a bit of a surprise to see this quick of a decision from the Trump administration.
Matt, real quickly, what's this all going to mean when it comes to the shareholder meeting, these board nominations, and Broadcom trying to take seats on that board?
Yeah, I think shareholders were, in a way, looking forward to some discussion about the Broadcom bid because Qualcomm's technology licensing business has been struggling recently. Apple has been underpaying royalties to the tune of about $4 billion a year, and so there was certainly some interest in shifting away. So it kind of brings that dispute front and center.
Okay, let's dig a little deeper into this story. Peter Elstron of Bloomberg News joins us from our studios in Tokyo. Peter, thank you so much indeed for joining us. Why is President Trump jumping into this takeover battle? Aren't they supposed to be friends, he and the Broadcom CEO?
Yeah, well, it was just back in November when the CEO of Broadcom, Hock Tan, went to Washington. He met with President Trump. They had a photo op where they were shaking hands and smiling. And Tan at that time said that he was going to move the headquarters of Broadcom to the United States. So it looked like they were aligned, at least in that respect. But the Trump administration jumped into the middle of this deal. Broadcom was pursuing this bid for Qualcomm. It was a hostile proposal. Qualcomm's management was opposing it very, very vociferously. And the Trump administration jumped in and it said that there are security concerns here. If Qualcomm gets acquired, there would be concerns about whether the United States was going to be able to stay at the cutting edge of wireless technology in particular, and whether that was going to hand over too much influence to China, and particularly Huawei Technologies, which is the biggest equipment maker in China.
How close, Peter, was Broadcom to winning this hostile bid? Was it a done deal already?
It was very close. They had made a very aggressive proposal. As mentioned in the intro to this, they had gone directly to shareholders and were trying to get their own representatives on the board of directors at Qualcomm. According to people familiar that we talked to, they were headed for a majority of the board at Qualcomm. So the Trump administration did have to act quickly, in part because it looked like Broadcom was going to get control of the company very quickly, so they had to jump into the middle of this. But the offer was very attractive, and it looked like they were on the path to victory, which is it's kind of the strategy that Hock Tan, the CEO, has been employing. He's been acquiring a lot of companies, bringing a lot of consolidation to the chips industry.
Okay. One final question, Peter. So where does this leave Broadcom now? And more broadly, what does this mean for consolidation in the semiconductor space?
Well, it's an important question for the semiconductor industry. Tan has been at the forefront of making the case that the chip industry has gone through its fast growth phase in the past, and now growth has slowed down quite a bit. So it's time for consolidation. It's time for companies to come together, cut costs, increase profits, reward shareholders in that way. He has been on that path for many years, really, since he's been running the company. It's not clear where he's going to go from here. They don't have to take a no from the Trump administration. They could look for alternative paths to get this deal done, perhaps through the courts, perhaps through some other way of appealing it. But it looks like a pretty tough move at this point.